think we're starting to have a problem. So many Jeeps, so little time. But today we're going to do something that's going to piss some people off. Because these are the STEDI 7-inch carbon LED headlights. And yes, they are round. That means we are doing a round headlight conversion. And I know that pisses a lot of people off, especially the Americans. Well, probably a lot of you are going to say, then why didn't you just buy a Wrangler? Well, firstly, because they're ungodly expensive where I live. And when they're already that expensive and you've still got to modify them and it's very limited what parts you can get here, that's one reason. The other reason is because none of this was planned. This is just what we're doing. There's not many XJs where I come from as it is, and my job is to try and make mine as unique as possible. But I don't know. We chose some decent lights. These are meant to be pretty good. So let's chuck them in and see what happens. Well, we've got them out. For some reason I don't remember the update eyelids pulling off, but apparently they do, which is good because that makes our life a lot easier. I think I'm going to pull the indicators out too because we need as much room as possible back there. Alright, so we've got all of the mounting hardware for the square headlights out now. Still haven't taken the indicators out yet because on second thoughts I might not need to. But if you see them out in a later video, that's because I did indeed need to. I don't really know what I'm doing here, we're kind of just winging it. So, we've made a big oopsies. These rings are for a JK, I believe. And it never occurred to me about the brackets on them. Oops. But we've already destroyed the old hardware for square headlights now, so we're going to have to make it work. Yeah, you don't want to fit, eh? We'll fucking see about that. So, if we can get that in there. Now I've lost which way I had it. Yeah, it's up like that, perhaps. Anyways, we've got to try and get it to sit as flat as possible so that it can fit the headlight in there, but we're going to need it to go up because at the moment it sits too far down. Now I just want to put a little bit of an FYI here. Yes, I'm very aware I'm using the wrong tool for the job. I do have and did eventually end up revisiting it with a Dremel. I just didn't have it handy at the time. So we made do with what we had, which just happened to be the drill with the bigger drill bits. But we did end up revisiting it eventually with the Dremel, because we definitely wanted it to look as tidy as possible. Yep, that was definitely the reason. It had absolutely nothing to do with the fact that I mounted it too low to begin with. But if for whatever reason you happen to be watching my video for tips on how to do this, which I do not recommend, there's a little bit of information there for you. However high you think you need the mounting bracket, put it higher. But like right in the center of the screen, there's that really, really fucking annoying little triangle piece sticking out there. And that's what's holding me up. So we're gonna figure out how to get that a bit more flat. Gonna be hard with one hand, but I think that's probably about as flat as we're going to get it. So let's drill some holes and put it in, I guess. So, just got self-tappers to mount it with, but I've decided to go with a bit bigger of a head so I can make the hole in the actual bracket a little bit bigger, and it should give them a bit better of a hold. Don't know how they're going to go in fiberglass, but we'll see. Oh, that's the best I could do, because I can't drill around corners. I don't have a small enough drill bit to be able to pre-drill the ones that go on like an angle. The other way you could do it, I suppose, is have longer self-tappers, but I didn't think I'd need any bigger than what I already had. So what I've done, because I've got the bigger heads on them, is I've just chucked one up in that corner, but I don't think it's going anywhere. Alright, so obviously these have a daytime running light in them, but I don't know how to run that in a way that it's going to just come on with the car. So we're going to hook them up to that wire there, which is our park lights, which is how we ran them before. And you can say what you want about it, but it lasted nearly 3 years like that and never stopped. The only reason it stopped, obviously, is because I took it out. So that's what we're going to do. Making a mess? Then why stop now? I suppose I should probably check if they turn on, eh? Well, they're in. I tell you what, I'll be okay if I don't have to do them ever again, or at least for a while. One thing that I would note is definitely use a Dremel, it's 10 times easier, and be mindful that your indicator has to go back in. Something I didn't take into account, I had to adjust it. But they're in. Absolutely love the look. Not everyone's going to like them, but that's fine because not everybody matters. I like them and that's what matters. Now we just need to wait for night time so we can adjust them up and see how they are. So we waited around for dark time and then we took it for a bit of a run. Now bear in mind that I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just winging everything here, so I'm sure that the results you might get may vary. I just know that there's some guy out there that's got like 86 years experience of being an alpaca or something like that, and that somehow affects putting in a headlight. And we just know that guy's results are going to be completely different to mine, so bear in mind, mine was just a have at it job. But I've also had them in for quite a long time now since I've actually filmed this video, and I can say they have been one of, if not the single best mod that I've added to the car, especially for like day-to-day daily driving.
I don't do a tremendous amount of like driving at nighttime or anything like that, but when I do, these are the greatest thing ever. Like, I'm not running any spotlights or any light bar or anything like that. This is just purely off the headlights alone. Did they cost a bit? Yeah, they definitely did. Have they been worth it? Yeah, I'd say so. I quite like the look of them, and they're definitely effective. Bear in mind though, they are a projector headlight, which means that they're going to have like a spot cast in the middle of them. That's just how it is. I've not found a way to eliminate it, but it doesn't really bother me, to be honest. And if you want to compare them to the other headlights that I had in it before, I've got an old video a lot of people jumped up and down about, saying that they were terrible, and they weren't very great, but they were cheap. And the video actually made them look a lot worse than they were in person. Like, they were definitely a step up from the headlights it came with, but they don't even come close to comparing to these, which, considering the price difference, does make sense. But anyway, that's where I'm going to leave the video, guys. I hope you did enjoy, and I shall see you in the next one.